Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing? It is Friday, 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 Friday. Hope everybody is doing well. I hope you guys have had a good week. Time is just flying by. Oh, excuse me. Of course, I'm going to say how disgusted I am because I just burped on live stream and I should edit it out after. Oh well, I just gulped down a sandwich at tuna fish sandwich. I was like, I got to eat something before I start doing this. So that's Diet Coke and a tuna fish sandwich. It was delicious the second time tasting it again, just so you know. Yeah, don't worry, sandwich. You're not in trouble. I didn't eat you. All right. Before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody um, that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you can't abide by those simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches will boot you out of here. I'm not seeing JJ in the chat tonight. I didn't expect to. He's recovering. Oh, he is in the chat. Okay, well, never mind then. JJ is here. He has a lovely scar, guys. He sent me a picture, and I'm sure he doesn't mind me telling this. His scar goes from here over the top of his head here, right to this side. Um, yeah, I didn't know you were here, man. I didn't see you. So, um, yeah, he brutal. I mean, absolutely brutal. He's going to have an interesting scar to uh, to talk about forever and ever after this one. But so anyway, please be decent. If you can't be, they will boot you out of here. All right. So that's the important part of that. So we're going to be talking about now is the time. Okay. So we're going to be getting to that in a moment. What am I talking about? All that good stuff. We will get into that shortly. But man, I'll tell you what. So today it was about 91 here today. Heavy, heavy humidity. I mean, it was pretty intense. And I did do some more road work today. I didn't videotape it today, but I worked on the road a little bit more today. And actually, I got a load loaded up right now. So that way, works out cool because if I do a couple loads and then I fill, have a load ready to go, so like tomorrow, I'll just take that load and go dump it, and then I come up and fill it up again. It seems to work out better for me. I like it that way. So, um, but anyway, we had a storm roll in, and I did get it on video, guys, and you'll see that one tomorrow at 3 o'clock. It was amazing. It was exciting. I love the storm. I've always loved a good storm, and so this thing came rolling in here, and it dropped the temperature like 20 degrees. So, did the bunker flood? No, actually, there's from the rain that we had before. There's maybe a foot of water in the bottom of the bunker right now. That's about it. I got to get the pump down in there and get that pumped out. But yeah, not very much at all. Ed, what did you think of the congressional hearing on the UFO testimonials? I just let's put it like this. I've believed in extraterrestrials since I was a kid. My mother told me when she was a little girl. I'll tell you the story real quick since you brought that up. My mother told me when she was a little girl that her brother, and her sister were coming back from a swimming hole. And this is, guys, this is back, my mom was born in 43. So this is when there wasn't a whole lot of talk about UFOs and it wasn't all over the news and everything else like that. And they were walking, and she said, I saw three silver discs in the sky. And she said, it scared the crap out of us. And she goes, and I knew it wasn't from this world. So she goes, I knew it wasn't from this world. So she goes, it was, so, I mean, my mother's very religious, but she believes in UFOs, believes in extraterrestrials because she's seen it with her own eyes. I've seen things myself, because I watch the sky at night a lot. That's not supposed to move that fast, and I've seen different things, and being out away from the cities, and you see a lot more. So I absolutely do believe in extraterrestrials. I think it's interesting that they're trying to bring this up now. So I'm curious to see where that's going to go. So anybody that watched my video that I did earlier today, I showed, and I love this. I love this part of it. Okay, so came up with a game plan, what I wanted to do to take care of the bees, and I thought it was the most efficient way to do it. It gets rid of them completely, right? They're not around. Um, so I used a contractor garbage bag, scooped it into there, put it in there, tied that off, left that outside sitting in the sun so that they could basically cook, right? Um, I didn't get stung at all, which obviously is the goal whenever you're going to do that. Luckily, obviously, I have a bee suit because I deal with bees. So yes, I have a bee suit, um, and it worked out really good. But it's amazing. Like everybody has something to say. Well, you should have done this or you should have done that. Listen, here's the thing: is however you want to get rid of bees, especially like yellow jackets or wasp or anything like that. They're the nasty bees, not the good bees. Anything that you want to do that, if it works for you, great. You know, great. I think that that's awesome. But I did it the way I did it, and I was really pleased. I actually was. I was talking to Rob, one of the guys in my group, and he goes, "That went surprisingly smooth." And I went, absolutely, it went. I said I was shocked because nothing. I will tell you guys right now, nothing goes smoothly in the way that it should. It never does. There's always some kind of screw up or something like that. I mean, um, I even use tape. I taped the bottom of my pants to my boots, uh, just to be just to be on the safe side, because I said, okay, where's my weak spot? Where can they get in? And they can get up your pant leg. So I'm like, I taped them up, and it went real smooth. And I did go back in, and I did show it on video, and I removed the rest of everything, and they were not happy about that. But they couldn't sting me because I had my suit on. What I've done since then, I've gone out there a couple times and actually just used WD-40, and there was a couple of them up there, and I just sprayed them. And I just checked before the live stream here, and no sign of any bees up there at all. So, but yeah, but no, it's much nicer out here now. I know it's probably back up mid 70s at this point. I think I looked, it said it was 78. So, but boy, that storm came in, and the winds were intense. It was amazing. Like I said, if you want to see that, the video will be up tomorrow. So very, very cool. But so I'm like, oh, I got to get this on tape. I mean, it was amazing watching it roll in, especially being up in the mountains. It makes it that much cooler. So, all right, what do we got? 317 in the chat. We're at 99 thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that ahead of time. It makes a huge, huge difference with the algorithms, and so I do appreciate that. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And of course, always like, comment, and share. So there we go. Covered it all, right? For right now. uh, but yeah, I mean, however anybody wants to remove bees, I was just showing you a surefire way to do it where you are not going to get stung. Are you going to get some goats? Yes. I actually have a story for that one too. I have a story for that one too, and I will tell you all about that. Um, so, what was I going to say? Give me a moment here, guys. I hate that train of thought goes away like that. But no more story time right now. But I've met somebody local that has goats, and I'm going to be able to get goats from them. So, and they're like, yeah, don't worry, I got goats, and I'm like, okay, cool. So we'll see how that all plays out. But all right, so we're going to get into our topic. Right now is the time. Now is the time for what? What am I absolutely talking about? I want you to think about something. And so we're going to kind of bounce around here with this because this can be taken in a million different directions. So somebody says later on, well, what are you talking about? You're not talking about the topic. It's all related. Okay. After a hurricane happens, if you are in Florida, we're going to use Florida as an example. Hurricane happens in Florida. Do you get ready after the hurricane, right? Do you prepare after it's already come through? Or do you prepare before it happens, right? They give you the warning. And this is another thing that kills me about human beings, okay? So you have the warnings coming in, hurricane's coming, it's going to hit this area 5 days out. What do people do? Continuously always do the same thing. They wait to the very last minute, then they go, oh my God, now we got to do something, right? That is not the time to prepare. If you know, especially, first of all, if you live in Florida, the chances are at some point you're going to experience a hurricane. It's inevitable if you live in Florida. At some point, you are going to deal with a hurricane. Minor one, major one, you don't know. You don't know exactly where it's going to hit. You could be down there 10, 15 years and hits everywhere else but you, but eventually it's probably going to get you as well. Why would you not have plywood prepared ahead of time? Not having to worry about, oh my God, now we got to go get plywood and we got to get this ready and we got to do this and we got to do that. Have it ready. Have it sitting in an outside shed, whatever the case may be, right? Do it that way. Prepare ahead of time. You don't prepare at the last minute. You don't do it when it's too late to do it. Generators, they're all buying generators at the last minute. Yeah, have a generator. Have a supply. Yeah, plywood for the windows. Exactly. Have a supply of gasoline. So when the storm goes through and knocks the power out, you have 15, 20, 25 gallons of gas, that you're ready, that you can run your generator, that you can stay comfortable, have those supplies you need. Have fresh water on hand. All right. So we're just talking Florida at the moment. Okay. That's the smart thing to do. The majority of people don't do the smart thing. They never do the smart thing. I'm gonna give you a great example of this. So if you guys remember, right when the pandemic hit, okay, or you know what I mean, but when that all was happening, um, and it hit America, people like lost their minds. Um, Legacy, the freeze dried food that I sell on my website at preppernurse1.com, sales were insane. She had told me, the lady that I deal with over there, she had told me, she says, wait till we have some kind of crisis and you'll see the sales go bananas. She goes, wait, you'll see it happen. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. It was insane, the sales. People were buying like crazy. Now I was giving people discounts, and doing that to try to save people money and all that type of stuff, right? But it was that panic that, oh my God, we got to do something now. Well, that's not the time, folks, to do it. The time to put yourself in a position to be ready to deal with whatever situation happens, that time is now, because we don't know what's going to happen. Okay. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not looking into a crystal ball and the crystal ball tells me, hey, on this date, blah, 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 blah is going to happen. And on this date, this is going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. We see the signs. Obviously, if you're paying attention to anything, one example would be India is not going to be exporting rice, right? I'm sure you guys saw that. Anybody that pays attention knows that Russia has pulled out of the grain pact with Ukraine, allowing them to ship out their rice, or not, I'm sorry, their wheat to other countries. That is going to affect things. That's going to affect the cost of wheat. That's going to affect the cost of rice. Okay. And no, not all rice, right, Gary? Not all rice, but certain types of rice are not allowing to be exported, and that's per what India is doing. You can still get rice. Rice is still relatively cheap. I personally, I like rice. I believe rice is a good filler if you use it with other things. So what do I mean? It's going to help fill you up. So you make your rice, get some vegetables in there. You cook your vegetables up. You can, get some gravy mix, whatever kind of gravy mix you want. Mix that in there. Again, changes the taste, changes the texture. Have some meat in there, whatever you're trying to do. So there's all kinds of options that you can do. You can have rice, regular plain rice. I love rice just like that. Little butter, little salt, good to go. Love it. Okay, but I wish I liked beans, but I don't. Well, Andrea, so here's my suggestion to you. Obviously, if you don't like beans, should you still stock them up, right? So that's a question, right? Well, I don't like beans, so why should I stock them up? A lot of other people like beans, right? A lot of other people like beans. So here's Andrea, here's food for thought for you. And I'm glad you put that comment up there. No disrespect that you don't like beans. You don't have to. There's certain things we all don't like. Okay. Like I'm not a big fan of lima beans. I'm not going to eat lima beans, so I don't stock up on lima beans. But other people are going to like beans. Okay. So if you have stocked up beans, that's a barter item for you down the road. Beans are great protein. And regardless if you like them or not, I can almost guarantee you, if you are starving, you're going to eat them. I mean, that's reality. But again, use that as a barter item for other people that do like it. They can get you something that you like in return. That's the way I look at that. I stock up on some stuff that I'm not a big fan of, but in a pinch, I'm not going to be super picky. So that's just my take on that. But anyway, getting back to what we're talking about. I'm up to 400 pounds of rice, Kellogg says. Okay, that's awesome and that's great. Hey, Mac, I find it better to wait till after the storm because the plywood would be, be on sale then. Oh my God, you're a job. That's actually funny. And he's saying that in jest, guys, just so you know, because he likes to bust chops. But thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. But anyway, yeah, JJ's here tonight, Carol. Yep, JJ is in the chat and he's doing better. Like I said, he's going to have a lovely, lovely scarf. So a person was saying they had 400 pounds of rice stocked up. Well, great. The more the merrier. Rice will last 30 years. So the more you stock up, as long as it's stored away properly, you're going to not have any issues with it. At a guess, and I don't know 100% for sure because I kind of stopped counting a while ago, but I am north of about 1,500 pounds of just rice. Yeah. So, and I couldn't even tell you how much like beans that I have. Um, and see the things when it comes to beans, you have you have your pinto beans, you have your black beans, you have your red navy beans, you have your yellow beans, green beans, green peas, yellow peas, green peas. You have like black beans. God, I'm trying to think because I have so many different kinds. But lentils, yes, lentils is another one. You know, I have so many different kinds of beans, and what I try to do when I do that is I go, okay, I got 50 pounds of this kind of beans. So then I won't buy any more of that kind until I get the other ones up to that level. Pinto beans, yep, I got plenty of pinto beans. Chickpeas, kidney beans, yep, I have all those too. So I try to get them all up about that same level. Black eyed peas, I have those as well. But you just, and that's how you get your stockpile up because, that way, again, you're mixing it up. You're having different things. You're not going to have, um, yeah, but water's needed. So what, Juby? So what? Water's needed. Big deal. There's water everywhere. And if you're boiling it down, it's not that big of a deal. But and I'm not trying to be a jerk saying that. So what? It needs water. Soak them overnight. Some things you don't have to soak overnight, but you're gonna be just fine. Yeah, and like I said, Andrea, if you like lima beans, knock yourself out. Load up on them. I like I said, if I had to eat them, would I eat them? Yes. Am I a big fan of lima beans? No. So I will always encourage you guys this when it comes to stocking up, buy the stuff you like to eat. Why would you not? Right? I mean, if you like pinto beans, a good example. If you like pinto beans, load up, stock up, have a ton of it. Um, Freeze dried coffee. All right. Highly, highly, highly recommend freeze dried coffee. Why? Because it'll last 20 years. Freeze dried coffee will last 20 years. It's not going to go bad, even once you open it. So, it's all about choices. It's about looking at the picture and going, okay, what do I have? What do I want? Wants and needs. It always comes down to wants and needs. So you get your staples banged out, right? You get your beans and your rice because it's all beans and rice, right? Everybody does beans and rice. And then you look and you say, okay, what else do I want? Like, when you have to be diversified. I'm going to tell you that right now. I think it's so important to be diversified. Freeze dried food is definitely something you should have, right? Definitely have freeze dried food. You need to have your dry staples, your rice, your beans, that type of stuff. Uh, get those stocked up, get them up where you're comfortable. Canned goods, okay? Canned goods are important as well. Now, I think canned meat is also very important because I'm folks, I'm going to tell you what, and I repeat myself like I'm beating a dead horse, but I do it for a reason. When it comes to time and SHTF happens, every Joe Blow out there is going to be in the woods. So unless you are out there getting your meat right away, or if you have cows or whatever other alternative meat sources that you have, it's not going to be there. There's not going to be anything in the woods to hunt. So having canned meat, ham, chicken, turkey, pork, whatever, is really, really, really important. And yeah, Keystone meats, yes, and that's one of the ones that I have stocked up on that I have a lot of. Is the Keystone. I like the Keystone canned tuna fish. I will tell you, like I said, I just had a can of tuna fish. I probably, at a conservative guess, I have over 100 cans of tuna fish. So, and always get it in water, don't get it in oil. Because what you can also do, then you can drink the water. So, like when you get it, dump it out, you get the water out of the can, you drink that. But it's amazing. It's pure protein. So that's another source that you can utilize. Okay. But there's so many options. There's so many things that you can do. Prep Rebel says I can't get Keystone meats here. That sucks because they're really good to have. They're really good. I mean, they're pricey. Things have gotten real expensive. Sardines is another option. Yes, I have sardines. I have some sardines. Not a big fan of sardines. Spam. I have spam. I'm not a big fan of spam, but in a pinch, guess what? I'll eat it. So you have to look at things realistically. And if maybe you don't like it, maybe somebody else in the group, your group does. You know, Keystone is like $10 a can in Ohio. Yeah, it was. It's steadily gone up, Susie. It's definitely steadily gone up. But like I said, canned fish, right? Salmon, all that type of stuff. Somebody else has, and just put that in there too. All that stuff. It's good stuff. It's good to have. You definitely should have that. I have a few hundred cans of sardines and other canned fish. Nothing wrong with that. Again, like I said, meat's going to be important. Definitely have your canned meat. It's one, like I said, I have like a list of things that are really top of my importance list. One of the things that's really high on the top of my important list is spices. Believe it or not, spices are going to be huge in a post event because if an example would be if I'm eating rice every single day, or if I'm eating beans, one type of beans or whatever every single day, and I never vary the taste of it, and I cook it the same way, you're going to get so sick of eating it, you're not going to want to eat it anymore. But with mixing up the taste, and and you have to plan, you have to have a plan in your head. Okay, what is my meal plan? What am I making for the next 2 weeks, basically, right? So if you have a 2 week plan that you in your head that you're putting together, you can have something different every day. Now you can have some of the same things, like rice. Rice could be something that you have every day. um, if it's buffing Malachi's corner, sign out and sign back in. But if you have if you have it that way, you can have the same things, but you're having it in different ways, using gravy mixes, using spices. It changes the texture, it changes the taste. And so that, look, I haven't even opened this up yet. We're almost a half an hour into this. We have what, 388 in the chat, and we're at 180 thumbs up. There's 200 of you at least that haven't shot a thumbs up yet. So I'm going to ask you to do that again, please, to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time for doing so. It makes a big, big difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction, the better. No, the storm's not still here. It passed through. It looked like it might rain again a little bit, but it came through. It didn't really rain that heavy. It was high winds. There was well, you could see where the storm was more intense further south, so that was pretty neat. But again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe as well. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you ahead of time for doing that. But yeah, so anyway, the time is now, is to put yourself in a situation where you can be comfortable later on. It does a couple of things for you guys with being prepared for whatever. And again, put whatever title, whatever event, whatever you think is going to happen, whatever the case may be. If you put yourself in a position where, while everybody else, the majority, I shouldn't say everybody else, the majority of people are running around like a chicken with their head cut off at the last minute, right? You're sitting back and you go, oh, well, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. We're good. We got plenty of food. We got supplies. We're ready to go. I'll give you another great example of something. So the pandemic hits, everybody loses their mind, and what do they go out and buy? The one thing that you would never think would be in short supply. Do you guys remember? I'm just giving you in the comments, please. Yep, Katrina's already got it in. Toilet paper. People lost their mind and were buying toilet paper like crazy. You couldn't get toilet paper. And then when they finally got it in stock, you were limited on what you could buy. Well, I will tell you this, as a prepper, I had 4 or 5 30 packs of toilet paper on hand. Always had, like, even in New York right now, up in the loft, I got plenty down here. I got, but see, now it's just me down here. So what, I mean, I'm not going through, me. Well, Steve uses the toilet paper as well, but people, you couldn't get it. You couldn't get toilet paper. I'm sitting on a bonanza of toilet paper. I like to be stocked up on toilet paper, paper towels, and Kleenex. I go through a lot of Kleenex. I like Kleenex. I use it to clean my glasses, blow my nose, whatever the case may be. Uh, I like having it stocked up. I like being able to go, oh, that box is empty, because when you pull that last piece of Kleenex, I go, crap, it's empty. Well, then I walk over to where I got the boxes of Kleenex stored and grab the next one and stick it there. Once I get down to a certain level, I replenish. That's the easiest way to do it, to me. But I grew up with my grandparents. My grandparents were Depression era, so they grew up in the Great Depression. So they always had a stocked pantry. So grandma would go shopping, and she would go down into the pantry. She would look and see what she needed. She'd go to the store, and she always had, I think, 3 jars of Hellman's mayonnaise. So when you would go to the, she'd go to the store and get the next jar of Hellman's mayonnaise, that went to the back. You use the oldest one first. And it was just something that was ingrained with me as a very young person. I liked being able to go, I want, X, Y, or Z, and you go down to the pantry, and there it is, and bam, you grab it off the shelf, and you're good to go. So before I ever became a prepper, I always had a stock pantry. So I guess I was a prepper before I knew I was a prepper. Okay. But I liked having, if I wanted to have a box of macaroni and cheese, I would go in and I got 10 to 15 boxes back then, ready to go. Grab that one and cook it up. You know what I mean? If I want to have raviolis, I love raviolis. It's something that I enjoy. Actually, I had raviolis for lunch today. So I got my raviolis. I grabbed the jar, cooked it up, good to go. So again, yes, rotation is essential for foodstuffs. You have some things that can last a very, very long time. Your rice, your beans, your wheat that is, still, you know, um, in the shell. I guess I'm trying to think what they call it. I'm going blank here. If it's not been processed, your wheat yet, it's got a 30-year wheat berries. Thank you, Okie Forge. It was not there at all. So thank you. Wheat berries will last 30 years. Okay. And the cool thing about that is you can plant them to grow more wheat, or if you have, a grinder, you grind it up and you make your flour. It's a beautiful thing. Now, I have went out to an Amish store eons ago, and I have it down here with me now, a hand grinder. So I'm not worried about. I try to think about if there's no electricity, what can I use? How can I do things? So that's why I got the hand grinder for the wheat. Now, will it take longer? Sure, but it'll still work, and we'll be able to do that. Wheat berries are an awesome thing to have. Somebody put in the chat here as well. Honey, honey will last forever, forever. They pulled honey out of Tutankhamun's grave when they found that honey was 2,000 years old and it was still edible. So that just kind of gives you an idea. You can't go wrong with honey. I've always stocked up on honey. I love honey personally. That's why, obviously, you guys know I have bees now, and I am excited uh, with that process of having a nice harvest next year of honey from the bees. Looking forward to that. I cannot wait. Really, really, really excited about that, to be honest with you. So, but yeah, it's just it's you work on things and you figure out what works, and you realize what your long term staples are that are going to be there, they're going to be good, and then you go from there. Add that hand grinder will outperform motors and pedal will outperform a motors and pedal grinder for wheat. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, I was real happy when I got it. They have this huge, huge Amish store that you go into, and I do plan on making mead down the road, Sharon. Yes, as we get more bees and we have a lot of honey, then yes, I do want to make mead just for fun more than anything else. And so yes, I do want to do that. But there's a lot of things that if you what it comes down to, honestly, what I did when I first got into prepping, and I told you guys my epiphany, my wake up moment, if you will, was Hurricane Katrina back in 2005. And I realized that we could not rely on the government to take care of us, that we had to be self sufficient, that we had to take care of ourselves. And at the time, the twins were 4 years old, Josh was 10 years old, and I had a stay at home wife. And I'm like, this is my responsibility as the head of the household to make sure that my family has food, that they can be taken care of, that we're not going to be in any kind of problems if something goes sideways. And so that's what got me started. And I did a lot of research and I studied a lot and I made a lot of mistakes. Um, just added a fourth box to my beehives. Oh, very cool, Delbert. Awesome. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I probably am not going to be adding a fourth box this year. It doesn't look like it because we're already, getting ready to go into August now. The bees have plenty of honey. My bee guy that came out and looked at everything told me that there's plenty of honey for them to get through the winter right now. So, hey, Hunter guy, the days of cheap rice and flour are almost over. India banned most rice exports, and the shortages are spreading and prices are going up. Now countries aren't exporting flour to save their own people. Thank you very much for the statement, Hunter guy, and thank you very much for the donation as well. Again, great points. Uh, again, you know, if you're stocked up and there's a shortage, you're not going to care. That's the reality. And so, I've maybe five bees all season. Where are they? I haven't seen many butterflies either. Really? That's yeah. I don't know. I can tell you. I know like with the bees here, they're doing fantastic. Really really pleased. Even though the hive split too, they swarmed. Didn't catch the swarm obviously, but moving forward, I'll be more ready next spring. But we will get there. Uh, you know, how is the digging going? I haven't been working in the bunker, honestly. Like I said, I've been working on, once I pulled my head out of my funk that I was in there for a bit, I've been working on the road. So that's kind of been what I've been focusing on. And, while the weather's been dry, that's a good time to do it. But, it's, and then and it's hot, like it's hot, you have to kind of pace yourself that way as well. So, but, there is wanting to get back on this, guys. Now's the time to get yourself squared away. Do what you got to do. Put yourself in a situation to win. Put yourself in a situation to not be victims. That's the biggest message that I can give anybody. If you don't have a group, you don't have a group. There's nothing you're going to be able to do about it unless you can find a group. But if you can't find a group and you're relying on your immediate family or yourselves, or you have extended family that don't prep and they don't prep, okay? Like a great example again, my sister never prepped. My niece never prepped. I was not turning them away, or obviously mom didn't prep either, but I would not turn them away when something went sideways. And so for me, I prepped for not only myself and my family, I prepped for people that I cared about, that I loved and stuff like that. Do you put anything in the rice? The only thing I put in the rice, Michelle, is bay leaves. I put bay leaves in there because the bugs don't like bay leaves. So whenever I stock up rice, I put a couple of pieces of bay leaves in there every time, and that really, really works great. So, but anyway, so it's just putting yourself in that position, being as ready as you can be, thinking of others. That's what I've like I said, to me, it's not just about me and just not my family. It's about other people that I care about as well. Now, am I helping everybody? Nope. Okay. So that's a fact. Okay. So there has to be a limit. You can't put your food supply or your people in danger because of other people that did nothing and didn't prepare. And yeah, you might feel sorry for them and you feel bad, but you have to think about the big picture. Do we have enough food to get the key is always good night, Sharon. Um, I thought she was saying good night. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, the key is getting through that first winter. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get through that first winter. So if you have enough supplies on hand to get you through that first winter, you're going to be in good shape. You're going to be in good shape. If you're not and you haven't, you're going to have problems, and that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. So you help if you can, but if you can't, you can't. Again, I think the good thing about having a group, if you're so so here's a good example of what I mean with having a group of people. If you have 15, 20 families. I'm just throwing a number out there. Let's say you got 20, right? And you say to everybody, okay, listen, let's all pull XYZ amount of money so that it's not like a big hurt to everybody. We're going to take that money and we're going to go stock up on food. And let's say everybody throws in $100, right? Extra. $100 extra. So you have 20 families, that's $2,000. That's a lot of food that you can buy with $2,000. I mean, a lot of food. Your staples, your rice, your beans, all that type of stuff. And boy, I'll tell you what, you get that and you'll be like, holy crap, we got a lot of food. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Now, if you're just your own family, obviously you can't drop 2 grand on food, but it's just that slow and steady. Again, I did that series showing how to stock up on $10 a week. $10 a week is not a lot of money. It's not. So people, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Everybody's got an excuse. Everybody's got an excuse, and that's what they use. They use every excuse in the world why they can't do this, why they shouldn't do that, and so they justify is what it comes down to. They're justifying the reason of why they've done nothing, and you have to think about those things. But 20 families, that doesn't cover for long. But great idea. You're right, Ann. It doesn't cover for long. But if you do that consistently, all right. If you do that, so I'll give you an example, Ann. Okay. The group that I got together here now, we haven't got the underground first room done yet. But once we get the underground first room done, part of the things is being a member of this group per person in your household. So if you have a family of 1 or if you have a family of 4, okay, you have to have on site at all times, once we get that first room dug out, a 3-month supply of food, all right, for each person. Now, if you say to me, well, it's me and my wife and my child, but I'm probably bringing mom and dad with me. Well, now you got to have at least enough food for 5 people. You know what I mean? So you have to plan ahead. So if you have that 3-month supply of food for each member of your family on site at all times, things go sideways and it becomes a terrible situation where you're not able to pack the car up and load everything in your trailer and drive it all down in one shot. Now you got all this stuff, right? Great. Well, maybe that's not the case and you have to come down on foot or on a bicycle or whatever the case may be. Now you're carrying what you can carry. So the more things that you keep on site at your bug out location, the better off you're going to be. With having somebody live on the bug out location full time, there's always somebody there keeping an eye on stuff. So you don't have to worry about, oh yeah, we go up to our bug out location 3 times a year. Well, the locals are going to know that. They're going to know, and they may know that you prep. Maybe they don't, but they know that there's a cabin up there and it probably's got stuff, and they're going to hit it when things go sideways, or they hit it just because they're a meth head and they want to try to steal everything that you got. So, with having a presence on the bug out location and living there full time, the beauty of living full time on your bug out location, and this is one of the things that I learned early on, and that really drove me to want to live at my bug out location, was because when I lived in Greece, New York, and I had my bug out location down in a small town, and we had a cabin up there. The problem was, I knew if things went completely sideways in the worst way, we're getting one trip. My car, the ex-wife's car, we would have had them loaded up with every amount of food that we could have done, clothes, the animals, whatever, right? You fill those things up pretty quickly. That's going to be filled up pretty quickly. And you're going to get out there and you're not going to be able to get back. So you're leaving all kinds of stuff behind. With living at your bug out location full time, all your stuff is there. And that's the beauty of doing that. I lived in Greece, New York too, right off of Mount Read. I was off of Elm Grove, other side of. So I know where you are on Mount Read. We were over off of Elm Grove on a street called Berkshire. So, but anyway, so there's a lot to go into the thought process of it. But yep, right off of Ridge Road. Yep, exactly. Yep, not that far. I mean, we were literally 5 minutes from everything on Ridge Road. Grease Ridge Mall was 5 minutes away. Everything. It was all right there. But we were a couple streets in off of Ridge. So even though Elm Grove got a lot of traffic, we were on a side road, and it was still, it was still okay, but it was, wasn't the hustle and bustle of living up on Ridge Road. All right, so let's do this, guys, real quick. We're at 404 in the chat, 270 on the thumbs up. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. I'm going to set a goal right now. We're going to set a goal of 400 thumbs up for tonight, just because why not, right? So let's see if we can hit 400 thumbs up. We're at 275 right now. So let's see if we can jump that up there. Again, it really makes a big difference. It's supporting the channel, helps with the algorithms as well. So I do appreciate that. The more interaction, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So the goal is 400 thumbs up. We're setting that early to see if we can hit that. All right, egg count time. How many eggs today? And yes or no for Miss Thickneck. Now I see we're already at 300 thumbs up, so now we got 100 to go. So I'll let you guys get your guesses out here, and we will go from there. Excuse me. Just got to taste that tuna fish sandwich again, and it was delicious. So give you guys a moment here, and we'll get your guesses up. Oh, I love tuna. Yeah, I love tuna. All right, guys. If you had the same exact guess, now it's not a tell anymore because now I know, and I waited again, so that tell is now gone. Um, if you had the same guess, is Dale in Ohio with 5 eggs today, and yes for Miss Thickneck, then you are 100% correct. Becky told me that they had 8 eggs yesterday. She goes, yeah, we had 8 yesterday, but today was 5 eggs with a yes for Miss Thickneck. So congratulations to Dale in Ohio. You are the winner. You've won absolutely nothing. So congratulations. And you get bragging rights until the next live stream. So there we go. So we're up to 313. So 87 more thumbs up, guys. Let's see if we can hit that 400 level. So, all right. I think, Dale, does that make you a first-time winner? I think that makes Dale from Ohio, a first-time winner. So, again, what we're doing down here, long-term plans, we're going to have chickens and goats, meat rabbits. I want to get pigs. I want all those type of things so that we have our the birds up in New York, there is I think they're down to 13 laying hens right now in New York. 13 hens up there. So, does the green egg from Thickneck taste different? Nope. Nope, not at all. She's just a different kind of chicken. In her shell, like I said, is a bluish green. They're called an Easter egger. So, that's, but she's cool. She's a cool chicken. Ask me my thoughts on what, Lee? I don't know what. Dawn says I step away. Who won nothing? It was Dale from Ohio, Dawn, with 5 eggs and a yes for Miss Thickneck today. But yeah, like I said, I want to have our own meat source established on site, and I think that that's important. And so that's part of the goal that we're going to do down here. Obviously, we're working on a bunch of other stuff at the same time. The pavilion is going to be an ongoing process. It's we can now get out of the weather, which is nice. Have a flat area that we can sit in, which is also nice. Um, so excuse me. So that's a good part, of that. We're going to be working on the back wall and the side walls on the next get together coming up here next month, and so that'll be one of the projects that we're going to be working on. There's other things that we're going to be doing as well, but it'll come together. It's just gonna, like I said, it's just going to take some time. It's just going to take some time. What can people do if they have special needs like TPN? Oh, Lisa, that's a good question. Again, if people have special needs that they need to be addressed or taken care of, with planning ahead, you can put yourself in a better position. Uh, the reality is, like somebody that's on insulin. All right, my mother is on insulin, just to give you an example. So I'm not like like those people. This affects me directly because it's my mother. When mom's insulin runs out, she won't be around much longer. That's unfortunately the reality of that situation. Okay. Always check to see if there's alternative medicines that you can use if you are on XYZ medication, whatever that medication is. If you can find an alternative source to use that medication, I would highly recommend that you do so. And say, okay, well, this works, but it may not work as well. But I know I can at least go to that. Stockpiling medication is another alternative that's going to extend your period of time. I mean, that's the reality. If you are on life-saving medication, the reality is that long term, it's not going to work for you. That's unfortunately the truth. I don't sugarcoat things with you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm always going to be honest with you. Uh, you know, Somebody on dialysis, SHTF happens and there's no power, they're going to be gone quick. They're going to be gone quick, and that's the reality. Your elderly in the nursing homes, if the families don't come and take them out, they're not going to be around very long either. Your mentally retarded people, if their families don't come and take them, they're not going to be around very long. Harsh realities, harsh realities. Your drug addicts are going to go through severe withdrawal. Some of them are going to make it, and some of them are not. Okay, but that's the reality. Think about the people that are on antipsychotic medications for bipolar or whatever, whatever else, schizophrenia, those type of things. Well, that medicine runs out, they're going to have some serious serious issues. you know so you have to think about those things. You have to plan ahead accordingly to put yourself in a better position. I mean, that's all we can do. That is all we can do. That's why I'm staying strapped. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. What if SHTF happens and the meds you stocked up on expire? There's certain meds, Steve, that do expire. You have to again do your research. That's a good question. So I thank you for that question, Steve 88. You got to make sure that the medication that you have, a lot of medications will still be good longer past their expiration date, if you will. They just start to lose potency. Now, other medication, if you get past the expiration date, they can turn toxic. So again, if you have medication that you're taking, you need to know. Yeah, people on ventilators, Village Homestead said, yeah, they're absolutely would be gone in a heartbeat. Prep Rebel Ed, what are your thoughts on Jace Medical? I actually, one of the members of my group uses Jace Medical, and I think it's a good thing. If you can get some stuff stocked up that way, I would absolutely say go ahead and do that. They're offering a product, seems to be working, seems to be legit, and I think that is a really, really good thing. Steel Tigers 86 says I'm building up my salt supply. Okay, good point. Good question, or not a question, but good statement. Iodized salt. We do not get iodine through our diets. So that is why they iodize salt. Um, so you don't get goiters, get the big goiters in your neck and stuff like that. I, from way back, from early on, I was getting salt. Oh my God, a 4 pound thing of salt from Sam's Club. I'm trying to remember what I was paying for that. It was really cheap. I don't remember what I paid because it's that many years ago. But I bought cases of salt, and I vacuum sealed them, put them into buckets, and set them aside. And it is iodized salt is very important. So that is something that you absolutely should stock up on. And I only have 13 boxes of salt left. Need to shop. Lana says, yeah. I just, I think it's a great thing to have. The more you have stocked up, guys, I'm telling you, here's the reality of being a prepper and getting into prepping and trying to homestead and trying to be as self-sufficient as you possibly can, and then trying to have an alternate power source. If you're tied to the grid, whatever, that's fine for now. When SHTF happens, if the grid goes down, you need to have some kind of alternative power source. The list of things that you need or want can be absolutely overwhelming. Absolutely overwhelming. Yeah, salt does not expire. Nope, not at all. So you can look at stuff and you can be like, you can overwhelm yourself. And what happens a lot of times when people become overwhelmed, they shut down. They shut down. So yeah, totally overwhelming. Kellogg says exactly. It can be. It can be daunting. You can look and be like, oh my God, there's no way I'm going to be able to do all that. My advice to people is this: you start out small. You focus on, again, 2 week supply of food, 2 week supply of water. That should be your number one priority, because if you do that and you do nothing else, you have an advantage over 95% of the people in this country. That's a good thing. Okay. Not totally expensive, and it gives you an edge. What we're all looking for is that edge. Then you build from there. Continue with adding to your foodstuffs, looking at alternative ways to filter water. Water is going to be number one. Always remember, water is number one. Without fresh water, clean fresh water, you're dead in 3 days. Okay. So you drink tainted water after SHTF, there's no way to treat it. You're going to die from dysentery or diarrhea. That's it. And it's going to happen. And I'm telling you right now, more people are going to die from dysentery after SHTF than any other way that there's out there. I'm telling you right now, because the majority of people have no concept, no clue, because they get it out of the tap. They don't think about it. They don't, it's not something that they're thinking about. So SHTF will happen. They'll come up on a stream. Well, look at it. It's clear. It's clean water. Pathogens will get in. Boom, they're going to be done. And it's that simple. It's that simple. So you have to really think about these things ahead of time and plan. So making sure you have more than one way to purify water. Okay. I have the Berkey water filter. I have a Katadyn hiker's water filter. Weighs less than a pound. I can do with each filter. I have two filters for that. Each one will do 10,000 gallons of water. I have I have the tablets. I have other water filters that you can get them at Walmart. I can't think of them off the top of my head right now, the name of them. Somebody put down, and I know what it is, and I just can't think of it at the moment. Sawyer, yes, the Sawyer water filters. There's all kinds of different ones you can get. Thank you very much to Suki. I appreciate that. Um, the Sawyer water filters are great to have. Now, here's an important thing to remember with the Sawyer water filters, okay? Very important. Once you have used them, once you've used that initially, don't let that freeze. If it freezes, the membrane will pull away. It will become useless. It's not going to filter the water. So once you have used your Sawyer Mini or your Sawyer, whatever, there's so many different kinds, make sure that that doesn't freeze, because that's going to be a problem. Okay. Iodine, bleach. Yes. Rhonda is putting that out there as well. Really important, having those type of things. Rain barrels are great as well. Absolutely. I think everybody should have rain barrels, because you got gutters on your houses. You're going to be able to get do that filtering and stuff like that. So we're at 362 in the chat. We're at 342 on the thumbs up. The goal is 400 thumbs up, so we are 58 away. So I'm going to ask you again really quickly to shoot that thumbs up if you have not done so ahead of time. Also, again, it does make a huge difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction, again, the better it is for the channel, and I do appreciate that as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please make sure you hit that bell icon and subscribe, and make sure you like, comment, and share. So, do you prep sauerkraut? No, Larry, I do not prep sauerkraut. I do not like sauerkraut. So, or cabbage. I'm not a big cabbage fan either. So we're at 361. So we're 39 away, guys. 39 away from hitting that goal. Again, prepping doesn't have to be overwhelming if you don't let it be. You focus on the small things. You get your food supply up to, that 2-week supply of food and water. And then you start looking at other things. Water, again, should be that number one thing. Water is always going to be number one. Then you're going to want to look at adding seeds and tools to be able to garden. You should be gardening already. If you're not gardening already, you need to start gardening. Learn. I'm telling you right now, learning is the key. I have made so many mistakes. And I'm going to tell you what, failure is part of success. Does that make any sense? How is failure part of success? Because if I make a mistake now, all right, we're going to do shout outs in just a second, guys. It's an important point I want to make to you. If I make a mistake now, it doesn't cost life or death. So I can make a mistake now, learn from my mistake, not repeat my mistake. What's a great example of that? And I'm going to share with you because of a mistake that I made. Last year, got the solar put in. I didn't run my generator all summer long. All summer long, I never ran a generator. So I wasn't testing it, wasn't making sure it was good to go. We hit November, and I had to start using the generator, and it wouldn't start. And I had issues, and I had problems. Maintenance on that. So what do I do now? What do I do now? Now, every month, around the 8th to 15th of the month, I fire up the generator, make sure it's running good, make sure there's no problems, and I do it every month without fail. You learn from your mistakes. And people was at the time, I got criticized, I got ridiculed. Oh my God, you call yourself a prepper and you didn't do this and you didn't do that. I'm a human being. I make mistakes, and I'll be the first to admit it. I'm happy to admit it, and I want you to learn from my mistakes. So right now, that wasn't life or death because I was able to do something about that. But in an SHTF situation, it is life and death. So the more that you learn, the more mistakes you make now. And again, will that ever happen to me again? It'll never, ever happen to me again. Why? Because I did it, I got through it, I survived it, and now I'm prepared. And it's as simple as that, guys. All right. All right. So we're going to do some shout outs. All right, what are we at? 373. So we need 27 more thumbs up to hit our goal of 400 thumbs up. So let's keep them coming. We're going to start out with Icky Can. Icky Can's a great guy up in Canada doing his thing up there. Definitely go show him some support. We have Angry Prepper. That is Jason down in New York City. Jason is a great guy. I definitely would recommend you support him as well. You have Alaska Prepper. That's Rudy up in Alaska. Great guy. Very squared away. Somebody should pay attention to. There's also Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance, 2 different channels. Same guy, living off grid, building off grid by himself up in Canada, gardening, doing all that type of stuff. Amazing to watch what this guy does. So very, very cool. You have Demcad. He's been around a long time as well. Really good guy as well. There is Corporal's Corner. Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Vizariza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles. It's a series. A lot of good information that you can pick up from that, so definitely check that out. There is Marfugal News with Adam and Dax out on the west coast of Seattle. Great guys, great channel. Definitely show them some love. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. There is, let's see, where am I? Wrangle Star. That is Cody. Good guy, very squared away. Definitely go show him some support as well. You have Red Poppy Ranch. There is Survival Lily coming from Europe. You have Kyle's Cabin. Kyle and Sierra living up in Minnesota, living off grid. Nice young couple. Definitely fun to watch what they've done up there. There is Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods. Husband wife team, real good people, very, very squared away. So definitely go show them some support as well. You have Green Greg's, and there is Southern Prepper 1 with his Boots on the Ground series. There is Gray Man Prepping. You have St. Bernard Acres with Joe. There's Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy have been around a long time. Great channel, a lot of good information on their channel. You see, we have the Nomadic Movement down in Panama. Nice young couple down there doing their thing. Very, very cool. The Green Dream Project out in Arizona, living in the desert, showing you how to do it out there. Camping with Steve. That's Steve Wallace. He does stealth camping up in Canada. Real nice guy. Very, very, very nice. Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader. She's been around a long time. Really good channel there as well. There is Boss of the Swamp, another guy that really knows how to build. Amazing to watch him build. You have Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Diamond is a very smart guy. Anything you want to know about the Grand Solar Minimum and all that type of stuff, check him out. Listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. You have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. Another one that just says it like it is, and I like that. I respect that. I really do. I always have. We have City Prepper. There is Lumina Acres. You have Suspicious Observer. There is Bear Independent. The Uneducated Economist. You have Bushcraft Bear coming from the Canary Islands of La Palma. Yeah, La Palma. Yeah, brain dead for a second. Sorry. Mary Greeley News. Love Mary Greeley News. She does all the updates with Yellowstone, everything that's going on with that. Definitely fun to watch her and watch what she's doing. Let's see. We have Adapt 2030. There's Malachi's Corner. You have Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy you should be getting your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. So definitely show him some support. Very passionate about the weather, and he gives back to the community in a huge, huge way. There is Russell Brand. I love Russell Brand as well. I think he's a great guy. Gives you the information, lets you decide what you want to take and do with it. So I like that. Deep South Homestead, a very nice family-friendly oriented channel as well. Definitely go check them out. You have The Outsider. There is The Fit Farmer. You have Prep Rebel. There is Simple Life Reclaimed. You have Townsend's. There's The Prepared Mind. You have Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. There's East Tennessee Preparedness. You have The Economic Ninja. And last but not least, there is Little House Off Gritty. Okay? A lot of good channels out there. We should be supporting each other. We're a small community of people. And I think it's important that we support each other. And so if we do that, that's good. There's a lot of different information. People look at things differently, which is also very cool. So I definitely would encourage you to do that. So we're at 384. 16 more, guys. 16 more thumbs up to get us to our goal of 400. You guys should blow through 400 easy. Again, let's go back. The time is now. The time is now to put yourself in a position to win. Don't be victims. Don't be relying on other people to take care of you. Take care of yourselves. Know what you need to do. Plan, put things in motion, be as ready as you can be. When the time comes, you're going to be in much, much better shape than the average person. And why would you not want to give yourself that advantage? I don't get why people don't. So pay attention. Situational awareness as well is important. Listen to your gut. That's important as well. You got to listen to your gut. So those are all things that we need to be thinking about, planning, uh, you know, being as ready as we possibly can be. Will any of us ever be where we want to be? No, absolutely not. And the reason is because there's always something else to do. There's always something else you could have done. There's always this other step that you could have been to be prepared better. I feel very blessed, to be honest with you, to be in the position that I am. I'm nowhere near where I want to be down here. I was much more prepared up in New York, but again, where I am now here in West Virginia is a much, much better location. I've got this great group of people that have come together that I have met, that we're working on things that we've come together and we have a game plan. And I feel very, very fortunate that way. When the time comes, I'll have two families coming. I'll have my prepping family come, and I'll have my blood family come, and we're going to survive whatever happens. That's the go. That's the goal. We're going to survive whatever happens, and we're going to do what's necessary to do that with the support of each other. So the more things that we put in place ahead of time, the better off we're going to be. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And but networking is important. Making connections with people. You might not have a group right now, but if you know 3, 4 people in your neighborhood that that you like, that you get along with, when that time comes, you might be able to work together with them. And I think that's important as well. So it's just something to think about ahead of time. Definitely something to think about ahead of time. So we're at 397, three more guys, and we got our goal of 400. So let's see. Let's obviously we're going to hit that. You guys are going to hit that. So let's see how much higher up past that we can go. And I'm not going to set any new ones because 400 is a high enough goal. So, but got my brother on board. That's cool. No, that's cool. The more that you can have, the more that you're not doing it on your own, and that you have people helping you, the better off you're going to be. So if you're not the only one in the family prepping, that's a good thing. With my sister, now being on the property in New York, and you know, it makes a difference. It makes me feel a lot better that that she's there, and she loves gardening. So they're freezing stuff, and I don't know if she's doing any canning or not this year, but the garden's done great. The garden is just kicking butt up there. One of the things that I had her do well, she did it last fall. One of the things I had her do, I said, that one pile of compost, the chicken manure, it's been sitting for a year. Take that, spread that out on top of every one of the beds, and that it's ready to go, and that's going to make your gardens grow that much better. Uh, you know, Having rabbits, that's why I want to get one of the reasons I want rabbits. Rabbits can poop it out. You can take that fresh, warm rabbit poop and put it right in your garden, and it's going to be awesome for your garden. So that's an awesome thing. All right, let's do this. We are Legion. We are Legion because we are many. We are all over the world. We're all over the country. Where is everybody from tonight? We're a huge family, is what we are. Franklin County, Ohio. We have Omaha, Nebraska with Larry. Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house. Waterloo, New York with Sharon. Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie George. Janet from Wisconsin. Fayetteville, North Carolina with Carol. Western New York with Sherry Ann. BC, Canada with Janet. East Central Illinois with Lana. West Coast of Florida with Kit. Churchville, New York with Kathy. We have Missouri in the Ozarks with Delbert. Carlise in the UK with Anne. BC, Canada with Emil. Columbus, Ohio with Robin. Troutman, North Carolina with Troy. Union City, Pennsylvania with Richard. Hollywood, Florida with Donna. Vancouver Island, Yellowknife in the Yukon with Prep Rebel. Flat, Florida, yes it is. Andrew, your highest point in Florida is 400 feet above sea level. Southwest Ohio with Barbara. Leesburg, Florida with Joan. Greenlee County, Arizona with Codster. St. Augustine, Florida with Diane. Cape Cod, Mass. We have Northern Illinois. Nebraska's in the house with Annette. Campbell, Missouri with Antonio. We have Dust Devil coming from Texas. Palatico, Idaho with Janita. We got Michigan in the house with Bubba One. Central Virginia with Cat Lady Life. West Central Ohio with Dale. Kearney, Nebraska with DJ. Dunludden, Florida. I probably said it wrong. I apologize. Morning Light out of West Virginia. Canton, Ohio. Let's see. Dallas, Texas with Stephanie. Flash flood warning in Arizona. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Clarksburg, West Virginia with R squared. Central Texas. So again, guys, we're all over the country. We're all over the world. We're a huge, huge network of people. We're the ones that are ready. We are the ones that are awake, not woke, but awake and preparing. And the more people that we can wake up is less victims that are going to be out there. That's important to remember that as well. If you can teach people to help themselves, that's important. We got Brenda from New Hampshire. So, but again, always going to encourage you. Don't be victims. Be proactive. Help yourselves. Put yourself in a situation to win. You have to remember that this is a game. You don't think the elites are prepared, that they have bunkers fully stocked with food and everything else they could possibly ever want, entertainment, their saunas, all that type of stuff. So much food that they're just going to sit down there and get fat, right? We have to watch out for ourselves because nobody's going to watch out for us. So that's the important thing. And I'm going to tell you right now, to me, when they eventually emerge from their bunkers, and those of us that are still on the outside that have weathered the storm, that are here, that are alive, it's going to be some tough MFs. Okay? That's the reality. The people that have been up on top and dealing with all this are going to be hardened. They're going to be ready. And when those people come out and thinking that they're going to run the show, they're going to find out in a hurry that they're not. So that's just a food for thought. That's the way I look at things. So anyway, we're at 419, so you guys blew through 400. I knew you would. I knew you guys could do that. So anyway, I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. I'm glad JJ stopped in here tonight. It was awesome to see him as well. Just a few post-surgery, and it was a brutal one, guys. Like I said, he has sent me the pictures, and it was not pretty at all. So I would not wish that on my worst enemy. I will tell you that right now. So, so thank you, moderators, ladies and gentlemen, that do that. Appreciate what you do. It means a lot to me. I appreciate all you guys being here, being involved with the chat, your questions, your statements. You guys ask great questions, which I think is really important, and I try to get to as many questions as I can. If I missed your question, it's not done intentionally. I apologize. It's just, when you get a whole bunch of people in these chats, it's a little difficult. I can't answer everything, but I try to do the best I can. Hopefully, I'm giving you information that you're soaking in like a sponge, and you're paying attention, and you're doing something about it. The biggest thing for me, the biggest thank you for me that I have gotten through the years of doing YouTube, being online, doing these live streams, is people writing me and saying, because of you, we listened to what you said, we prepared, this event happened where we live, and we got through it without a glitch, without any kind of problems. And it was because we listened to you. To me, that is the absolute best thing that I could possibly hear, because you did something to help yourself, and you listened that way. And I think that is awesome. And it makes me feel really, really good because and again, any of these events, guys, right now that happen, take them as learning experiences. Figure out what your strengths are, figure out what your weaknesses are, right? And the next time when that event happens again, you've put yourself in a position where you're prepared, you're ready, you've got those glitches worked out, and it'll go that much smoother. So when the big one comes, then we go, oh crap. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't have this, or I didn't have that. It's going to happen, and it does happen. But be as best prepared as you possibly can. So anyway, guys, remember, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we truly will be in much, much better shape. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day tomorrow is not guaranteed going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. If you work methodically, you set realistic goals, and then set about to making them happen, they will happen. They'll happen. And nothing will stop you from achieving those goals except for you. That's it. You're the only one that can stop you if you set realistic goals. Stay away from negative people that try to tear you down, that try to tell you what you can't accomplish. You can accomplish anything. Okay? Be safe, everybody. Have a great night. Janice said, Ed, you have guided me through a stalling out of my own prepping. You gave me a new direction, and I have not looked back. That's awesome, Janet. I appreciate that. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. We get complacent. We get bored. We're human beings. It happens. You sometimes, like I told you guys, I was in a funk. I was in a really, really, really bad funk, and I had to kick my own self in the butt and say, "Okay, boy, time to snap out of it." And I have, and I feel better about it. And so that's it. So anyway, be safe. I will see you guys on the next one. We had 427, so we blew through that 400 level. So have a great night, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Prepper Nurse One out for now.